This is your walkthrough for assignment 2. Note that I will not show you everything that you have to do, but everything is detailed in the assignment document, so please be sure to refer to that. You'll first read the HTML criteria. We're not using CSS yet, so this is all HTML. And then after you've read that, you'll go to the content criteria because you'll need to collect all your content. That is, the assets for your page. I've made a folder for my assignment inside my overall class folder, and I've already made an images folder inside my assignment 2 folder, and I have found a suitable image from Flickr. Criteria for this image are in the assignment document. I've opened Atom, my text editor, with a fresh open project window, and I'm going to drag my assignment 2 folder in there so that I've got access to all my files for this project, and so that I won't accidentally use files that are not in my assignment 2 folder. My next task is to get the complete text for the recipe I'm going to use. So I go to the allrecipes.com website. I search for a type of cuisine, in this case Persian, and then I choose my recipe and I open the recipe page. Of course, I check out the recipe. I make sure it meets all the content criteria for the recipe. And before I copy the text, I want to make sure that I copy the complete URL to this page. So I'm going to copy it out of the browser address bar so I don't make any mistakes. And I'm going to go into Atom, and I'm going to paste that complete URL into an empty document, and I'm going to save that document as recipe text, just so that I have kind of a scratch file to hold the recipe information. I'm also going to show you something about this kind of extra long URL. So it would be kind of unprofessional and amateurish to put a URL that includes the search information following the real URL. The thing to look for is the question mark within the URL. When you find the question mark, everything following the question mark is not necessary. It's part of the search that you conducted. Before the question mark, cut everything from that point to the end of the URL off and test this to make sure that it still works. So this shortened, more professional URL, grab it, go into your browser, open a new tab, paste it in, and make sure it goes to the same page. If it does, you realize that that shorter URL is the one that you really need, and you can erase this other junk and not use it. Now, to copy the text that you need for the complete recipe, the easiest way to do this is to take advantage of the print option on the recipe page, because the print option is going to give you a much cleaner set of text that you can just copy by dragging and get to the end of the recipe, make sure you've got everything, and then just Command-C, Control-C Windows, copy it, go over to your Atom and paste it, Command-V as in Velcro or Control-V for Windows, and now you've got your text pretty much nice and clean. Make sure you save it, and remember we're in our text file so we can edit this as we need to. You may well be concerned about copyright and whether it's legal to copy this recipe. I've written something about that at the bottom of your assignment, and you can check US copyright law. I've given you a link if you're concerned about it. Lists of ingredients and simple directions for making a dish are not protected by copyright, so we are in the clear. Now I've got to clean up this text before I start adding HTML to it. It's easier to clean it up without the HTML. So I know that I want an H1 at the top. That's the name of the recipe. That's good. I don't need a rating. I don't think I need the prep. Yeah, I'm not interested in the prep. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm also not going to credit Mr. Fantastic because it's a recipe and I don't have to. I don't need a quote, so I'm getting rid of that. I do need ingredients, and I need to check and make sure that I've got all my ingredients and do they match? And do they match the recipe? So I've got olive oil, onion, chicken breasts. Olive oil, onion, chicken breasts, okay. Walnuts, pomegranate paste. Okay, so my ingredients are complete, good. And I need my directions, and I've got those separated out, and the numbers won't come in. Okay, you're going to put the numbers in using an ordered list. So we've got that, and yes, so my recipe is now complete. And again, I save my file, so I've got this text file complete and ready to go. Next step, HTML. So as always, my first step is to add my basic structure tags. So there's a set of those tags that go above all the text in your document, and there are the two closing tags that we always have at the end of any document. And you notice I added these in recipe.txt, but I'm not going to save this as recipe.txt because now I want it to be HTML. So I'm going to do a save as, and I can keep it as recipe, but I need to save it as .html. I could also save it as index.html. And as soon as I've saved it with the .html file extension, you'll see that the colors from Adam come in. Make sure you give it an appropriate title. So, recipe, and I'm going to copy this, put that in there. That's a good title for the address bar. And the next step is to add the appropriate semantic tags. So you'll check the content criteria, you'll mark up what you've already got, and when you've added the tags, you can go into your folder where you've got recipe.html and double-click that file to open in your default browser. So before you've added any images, your file should look a lot like this with your suitable lists, your suitable headings, and also you have used that URL that you saved a while ago and put it into a link with a proper ahref linking to the original recipe. What remains to be done is you need to add the two images into your HTML document. You need to add links as described in the assignment, and you need to add a caption for each of the two images. So if you scroll close to the bottom of the assignment document, you'll see that there are example illustrations to give you an idea of what your image and your caption should look like. The last version of my example you saw looked like this. I have added my first image and its caption and its links and saved it in recipe.html. So if I reload this page, voila, I now have my first image. If I click the image, I go to the page from which I got the image, which also shows that I have the legal right to use that image. Very important that you link your image to the correct page. And similarly, the link in the caption goes to that same page. This is a separate link, showing that you have the right to use this image legally. Now, there are requirements written under the content criteria in the assignment for your second image. It needs to be a map of the country from which your recipe comes, and it needs to come from a particular website, and that is the CIA World Factbook website. So I'm going to show you how to find your country and how to get that map from this website. because some students in the past have had a little trouble with this. So when you go to the World Factbook site, you first search for your country. My country's a little tricky because it's not called Persia anymore. It's actually called Iran. So let's find Iran. There we go. So we open the Iran page. And then we've got a map that we can see on the page. Now, how are you going to download that map? Well, what if you click the map directly? A window opens with the map inside. You right-click on the map and you say Save Image As. Pretty easy. Make sure you navigate into your folder where you want it to be. So make sure you put it in your Images folder inside your assignment 2, right? Put it in the Images. You don't have to change the name. You certainly should not change the file extension because that would mess up the image, right? So save it in there and wait till it downloads. And then you can check inside your Images folder, and sure enough, you've got your new map. So there are requirements for the link that you are going to put around that image of the map. So once again, I am going to safely copy the complete URL from the suitable page following the assignment, and I am going to paste it into my document so that I don't make any mistakes. And then I'm going to create my A tags around my image and get that URL and cut and paste and close this up, save and reload my page. And let's see, there is my map, and my map links to the country page showing Iran. So I hope this walkthrough helps you complete your assignment with a minimum of anxiety.